way you think going into 2025 will determine your success for the year. So you need to shift your mindset in the right way that will help you have the right outcomes for this year. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how and what mindset shifts you need to do that. Listen, I was once you at one point, searching for videos on the internet trying to figure out how to do things, what to look for. And a lot of the times what ended up happening was I just kept getting funneled into different private communities or different paid softwares that I didn't really want to buy. And I'm just here to let you know this video is not a funnel. This is not any type of narrative I'm pushing on you. It's literally just straight sauce. You can take it or leave it. But to get straight into the video, I want to just be very straightforward and I don't want to waste any of your time. So for the first mindset shift, you need to understand you can create whatever you want and Jesus wants you to. See, the way that man think that becoming or trying to get rich is selfish, or the root of money is all evil, or X, Y, and Z, these different types of things. It says in the Bible, Galatians 2:20 and other parts of the Bible, that Jesus lives through us. And Jesus wants us to live our full potential. He wants to see us flourish so He can use us to show the beauty of God. But we have to want to grow. We have to want to become more and become our fullest potential. And the way you do this is not by coming and looking at, I want to create my full potential from a competitive plane, but you need to come and advance and level up in life from a creative plane, from a place of abundance where you can create whatever you want. You just can't take anything away from anyone else. When you start to live like this, you start to realize what is truly possible in this world. There is a vast variety of things and a vast variety of examples proving my point here. I'm not here to necessarily prove a point to you. I'm here to give you mindset shifts, so let's keep that in mind. Now, to add to this, I just want to be very clear. The root of money is not all evil. It's greed that is the root of all evil. Understand that a man is supposed to reach his fullest potential, so everything around him can also flourish. He's not supposed to reach his fullest potential to live a selfish life and keep that all within himself. I don't think Jesus would like that very much. Again, I'm not Jesus, so I'm not going to talk for Him or God or whoever you believe in. I am just letting you know my beliefs. And again, I just wanted to make this point very clear. We are all capable of whatever we want. Whatever business you want to start, there's somebody making money in it. Whatever industry you want to go into. And for the people who think that this is a scam, and there have been times where I've had people argue with me about things like this, saying the government is stopping you from getting rich, or just basically conspiracy theorists who are putting limiting beliefs on themselves. And this is what I have to say to y'all people. And I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, I just want to make this very clear. The government is not keeping you from getting rich. You are just acting in a certain way, which is keeping you poor. The same way that the people who went from poor to rich acted a certain way, which made them become rich. There's a science behind getting rich, and it's not in the way you think. It's not necessarily an equation, but there are certain things which you do that will help you achieve success. And I'm going to touch over a lot of those in this video, because a lot of them correlate very well to this mindset shift and just going into 2025 to make this year an amazing year for yourself. So again, for the first point, whatever you want is possible. You can create whatever you want if you look at it from a creative plane and an abundant point of view. And Jesus wants you to do this. Jesus wants you to reach your fullest potential. And man reaches his fullest potential by using and leveraging different things. And it gets these things by means of transaction. And transaction usually means money or places of value, points of value. So keep that in mind. And this skill is extremely important, especially if you're an entrepreneur going into 2025 as a teenager. Now for the second mindset shift, or the second principle, whatever you want to call it. Self-education will never fail you. Understand that I have outsmarted full-grown adults and many other people who are twice my age and way older than me, way more successful than me. I've surpassed them. I have became smarter than them. I've gained more knowledge than them. I'm not saying everyone, I'm not by any means saying I know everything, because I by no means do. And there is a huge number, billions of people who know more than me in this world. I'm just talking from a place of reality. Understand that if we bring everyone into the room everyone in the world in one room together, I would outsmart a big number of those people. And that is simply because I self-educated in whatever I wanted, right? Whatever you're interested in, pick up a book on that. Whether it's psychology, money, real estate, science, creativity, architecture, art, whatever it is, start self-educating. Stop asking people. Start asking your own questions, coming to your own outcomes, creating your own experiments, coming to your own idea of what the world is through your own sets of experiences and experiments to create your own conclusion. Yes, it's always good to ask people for advice. It's always good to get other points of views. That's knowledge as well. But if you don't have your own knowledge and your own sets of wisdom and knowledge to provide to other people in a unique way, you're not going to be a very unique individual. And everyone's different. I'm not sitting here and saying everybody's a sheep, because I really do not think that's true. What I'm saying is the people who seem to be the most unique, that personality that just stands out in a room, are the ones who self-educate. The ones who can talk for hours, the ones who have a lot of interesting things to talk about. It's the ones who self-educate, the ones who pick up books, read podcasts. When they have trouble with something, they ask Google, they ask ChatGPT. Like, the point is, whenever there's a problem, they fix that problem quickly by sourcing knowledge that will help them fix their problem. This is a very simple concept, but not enough people truly self-educate. Everyone is constantly looking for somebody like myself who has already achieved success, and then they come and ask me, like, hey, how did you do this? Can you help me with my Shopify store? No, I can't do any of those things. You need to go do that yourself, because I don't have the time for that. I need to stay locked in and stay on top of the things that I'm building. And I'm doing that by self-educating. I'm not sitting around asking other people for help. I'm not going and, having 4 or 5 hour conversations every day of the week. I'm trying to build success for me and my family. I'm trying to plant a tree that will bear good fruit. And the only way I can do that is by watering this tree with good water, planting this tree in good soil, and keeping it there, keeping the conditions of both of those things very well. This will create a good tree that will bear good fruit. And what is one of the best ways to do that? By knowing what soil and water you need. So self-education, once again, I cannot stress this enough, will never fail you. It doesn't matter how you self-educate yourself. Just start learning for yourself. And when I say this, don't go ask somebody, how do I self-educate? The answer is very simple. Go on the internet or pick up a book. Just learn things. Really have an intention to learn. This is extremely important. So again, to wrap up this point, I want to state this again. Self-education will never fail you. This is probably the most impactful way of learning. This is the way I've personally learned the most in my life, is through self-education. And I think this is the single thing that will make me a millionaire in this lifetime. Okay, now for the third mindset shift. Understand who you are and what you want, and then work with intention and faith to get to that point. Understand that I've talked to a vast variety of people who have very big dreams, and they're very ambitious people, but they don't actually know what they want. They don't have a good relationship with themselves. Or in other words, they don't even know who they are. They don't know what they want, what they like, the reasons they're doing what they're doing, or their motivations behind it. And if they do, a lot of the times it's extremely vague. And I'm talking specifically to the people who are always asking a bunch of questions, especially to people like myself. I, and along with a lot of my other very high profile and successful friends, have come into a vast variety of amount of people just asking questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? I don't have the skill set for this. I'm in doubt about this. Bro, nobody cares about how in doubt you are about the thing you're doing. We don't, you need to understand who you are. That's how movie characters are made. That's how unique personalities are made. It is by simply being yourself. And to be yourself, you need to know who you are. To have trust with yourself, you need to know what kind of person you are. And this is extremely important. And once you know who you are, you need to understand what you want. Because you cannot get from point A to point B if you don't know the destination, if you don't know where you're heading. what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up running in circles with a lot of very valuable information that in the long run won't be of any value to you because you don't use it. So you need to understand who you are and what you want, and then work with intention to get there. Even these videos, like I said, this video is completely free value. I don't want you to think that there is anything I'm trying to sell here or anything I'm trying to push you towards in this video. Right now, I'm just trying to build my content up so I have something to build something off of. This is just content as of now, though. But my point is, I'm doing all this because I know who I am. I know what I want. And I am working with intention to get where I want. I'm not just recording this video to record it. Now, this video might not have anything I'm trying to sell you, but there's definitely intention I have behind this video and every other video I post. So you have to keep in mind, everything that I do now, I'm doing it with intention. Whenever I hop on my PC, I open an application on my PC. Before I open that application, I think to myself, I'm doing this intentionally. Is this intentional thing I'm doing going to help me reach my goals and the things that I want to achieve or not? Every day can only be a failure or a success. Every day you either get closer or farther away from your goals. You never stay in the same position. Whether it's 1% farther or backwards or 50% farther or backwards, you move. So you have to understand this, and you have to understand where you want to be, what you want to do, and then work with full intention to get there. Because if you don't, you're not going to know what you want, you're going to feel extremely lost, and like I said, you're going to end up running in circles. And somebody like myself is going to have to pull you out whenever you should have already been miles ahead. But you're not, because you don't know who you are and you don't know what you want. So you need to understand who you are and what you want. And then you need to believe with full faith that you can achieve these things and then take actionable steps to do so. There's a story in the Bible where there was this lady, and all she wanted to do was touch Jesus' clothes so she could be healed. Fast forward a little bit into this story, she ends up doing it. She ends up meeting Jesus and she ends up touching his clothes. She's in tears, she's bawling. And Jesus turns around and he asks, "Why did you touch my clothes? What reason was it?" And she said, "I just wanted to touch your clothes so I could maybe be healed. I just wanted to touch your clothes and I feel healed, I feel healed." And then Jesus looked at her and said, "Look up at me. For my clothes was not the thing that healed you. It was because you believed that healed you." And this is extremely deep in my eyes. And there's like, I could honestly talk about that, like that overwhelms me to say, like, but like, I could honestly talk about that one verse for hours, because you have to understand, she believed and it happened. It says in the Bible, the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. And when I've started to realize this, the whole world starts to shift in your way when you believe it too. Even if you don't think it is, right? But as soon as you stop believing that, the world starts shifting in the other way just as quickly. And the same way that one domino pulled from the bottom of a pyramid of dominoes will eventually make the whole thing fall over, the same way that little doubt you have within yourself will make your biggest goals and desires cease to exist. Now, I don't say this to scare anyone or to say that you're not going to achieve success. I say this because anyone with faith, anyone who believes, that thing that they believe in will come true. That thing that they believe in will happen. The thing that they think most about will happen. You are what you think about, and your thoughts turn into actions, and your actions turn into outcomes. So keep this in mind, and keep in mind that you need to work with faith and action towards what you want. And if you believe, if you have faith, and if you know who you are and what you want, and you work with intention to get there, you can achieve the things you want. This one is probably one of the most important mindset shifts, this whole little, section, this third section. I think it's extremely important. And I hope that this part benefited you. Now, on to the next mindset shift. Okay, now fourth. You will find what you're looking for. And this is kind of piggybacking off of the last thing. I just wanted to really clarify this, especially for those who are still open to this, because I know there's a lot of people who, if they see this, they'll be like, there's a lot of arguments that I feel like you could put on me for this, and I totally understand it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, my way is the right way, because I don't think that at all. I think my way is my way, and I'm just sharing it with people like yourself. But you will find whatever it is you look for, so look for the right things. Understand that if I were to believe in ghosts, which I don't, or anything of the supernatural like that, and there were noises going on in my room at night, I would probably assume it's a ghost rather than think that's a board in my house that's just cracking. You know what I mean? Like, the same way, if I'm trying to look in the Bible to prove how it's real, scientific, like whatever way, I'm just trying to prove the Bible real. I guarantee if I look into it enough, I could find a million different arguments to prove that the Bible is real. But if I look into the opposite of that, I could probably find a million of the opposite. The point is, you will find what you're looking for, whether that's resources, tools, knowledge, information, the truth. You'll find what you're looking for. So look for the right things. If you are constantly looking into disease, you will probably end up getting a disease, even if you're looking into disease to help cure disease. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's the truth, and you could do your own research on that. But I just want to make this very clear, because I feel there are a lot of people who have a lot of very negative outputs or outlooks on the world, and it's kind of just because they started like that. Like, they started thinking negatively, and then they look into negative things, and then they find that negative they were looking for. Like, they find what they were looking for. Wow, imagine that, right? And then they continue on in life thinking everything is a shit show, when it's really not that way at all. Life is amazing if you just live it as it is, and you cherish it for what it is. So I just wanted to make that very clear. Again, you will find what you're looking for, so look for the right things. Look for abundance. Look for positivity. Look for the principles that will help you achieve success. Study success, not failure. Now, with that being said, I wanted to pan over to the last part of this video, where I just want to give you 5 smaller tips that are still extremely important that I feel we all look over, especially in the day and age we live in now. So, I'll see you there, and that will conclude our video. Okay, now for the final part of the video. I just wanted to make this because, well, I love you guys, especially the ones who watch my YouTube videos. So, I wanted to, just give you all the sauce, because I plan on posting, like, this part specifically on other platforms. But for the ones who watch YouTube videos, y'all get what I just said and this too. So, here are 5 little tips that I think a lot of entrepreneurs look over, especially in today's day and age. And these are skills, especially going into the new year, that I feel like we all need to keep consistent. No matter what stage we're at, what we're doing, you need these skills. And I literally put them here just so I could make this as smooth of a process as possible. But let's get straight into it. First skill, you need to have resilience. You need to be resilient in whatever it is you're doing. You need to be able to bounce back from all the pain and hardships that come with this entrepreneurship, or comes with chasing success. You need to be able to be resilient and stay on top of things and bounce back no matter what. If I wasn't resilient within my entrepreneurial journey myself, I would not be where I'm at, and that's a fact. I would not be talking to this camera or any of that. But it was because I bounced back that led me to achieve what I have now. Next skill, discipline. With resilience, you need to be disciplined. You need to be able to wake up when you don't want to wake up, do what you want, or do things that you don't want to do when you don't want to do them, and just stay on top of the things that you don't want to do. Like, discipline is extremely important. And if you don't have discipline, you're not going to be a successful entrepreneur. And there's a lot of lazy entrepreneurs out there, and I've used examples of them before, but those entrepreneurs still have discipline. They could wake up when they need to and X, Y, and Z. Just understand discipline is extremely important. Okay, now also, moving on from discipline to consistency. Consistency is another extremely important skill that kind of goes hand in hand with discipline. Understand that you need to stay consistent with the things you're doing, because life is full of factors of luck and risk. No matter how rich or poor you are, every man has factors of luck and risk. So if you could stay consistent, that risk and luck factor will be irrelevant, because you'll be able to survive long enough to reap the luck aspect of that no matter what. People like Warren Buffett have done this, people like Steve Jobs have done this, and many other amazing, extraordinary people have done amazing things and generated billions of dollars through just being consistent. Simply just letting things compound. Letting that consistency compound is probably one of the most important things ever. And I say that phrase a lot, which is extremely important. Let consistency compound. And for the final thing that I want to leave y'all with is you have resilience, you have discipline, you have consistency, and finally, you have strategy. You need to be able to have a strategic plan behind all this. Going back to what I said before, once you know who you are and what you want, put a plan behind it. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be extremely detailed. Just put a plan behind the thing you want. Build a wireframe. Build a roadmap. Whatever it is, however you want to do it, whatever works for you. Extract what I said out of this and build that for yourself. Because once you have a strategy behind an extremely intellectual mind, you are very hard to stop. And a strategy will just kind of, that luck and risk factor that I was talking about will kind of also help you end up on the luck side a lot more than on the risk side, because the odds of luck become a lot higher than the odds of risk when you do something like this. So with that being said, use what I told you in this video in whatever way works best for you. And I guess for, another honorable mention, be patient with all of it. None of this needs to happen overnight. Warren Buffett made $1 billion in 50 years and 5 years later made $80 billion. Things don't need to happen overnight. Just keep that in mind. Especially if you're trying to build something huge, something worthwhile, something impactful, it's going to take a while. But stick with it. It's going to work. Especially if you're young like me. If you're 13 through like 21 years old, you're extremely young. And you have 10 years, at least 10 years, in your prime, in your youth, full of testosterone, full of just energy to just work towards the things you want. So keep that in mind. You can create what you want. You just have to be willing to work long enough and stay consistent for long enough for the fruits to bear off of your tree. But with that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see a video where I kind of talk about some books that can help you also shift your mindset, click here. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. And comment below what you thought of the video, because I really work hard to create these videos for y'all. And until next time, take care everybody.